In January 1995, President Daniel Arap Moi emerged after a week of disappearance. He had not been seen in public. He had not been heard of. And those were the days when every news item began with "Rise Daniel Arap Moi." So when he emerged after a week, he showed that he was a man who was valued, indispensable. He had made even the opposition ask for him, including calling for a presser to do the same. Even the members of the diplomatic corps were also wondering where Moi was. And they were kind of trying to find out from the minister in charge. Recently, William Samoei Ruto, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, emerged from weeks of silence, of course because of COVID-19. But somehow he fell because he had been away from the public limelight. People had been wondering where he was. He chose to come into public and he addressed the nation. My purpose of shooting this video is to look at this reappearance and the events that have followed. I know these are tough times. We are dealing with this animal called COVID-19. The coronavirus has changed the world. We can't be so insensitive as to talk politics at a time we are dealing with this. But sometimes these things are forced on us. Sometimes we must talk about them. So William Samoei Ruto emerged and he gave what was billed as an address to the nation. I find this a little disturbing. And as a good citizen, I find it necessary to advise the Deputy President that many people were shocked. And I'm sure this was clear from the social media and even mainstream media. Only one individual in this country, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, the President of the Republic of Kenya, can address the nation on such a serious matter or on any other matter for that matter. When we have a functional opposition in terms of official opposition, that could also be it. But William Samoei Ruto is not the official opposition leader in this country. He's the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And to emerge from weeks of silence to come and say he's addressing the nation, it comes out very, very badly. And the issues he addressed could at best have been addressed, as indeed they have always been addressed, by the minister in charge, Mutahi Kagwe, in his daily briefings. But when there's something major on the same and on other issues that need a national address, it can only come from the President of the Republic of Kenya. While I was still in shock, something else happened. Raphael Tuju, we wish him quick recovery, Secretary General of the Jubilee Party, issued a notice to the registrar of political parties that he was changing office bearers to a key organ of the Jubilee Party, NMC, the National Management Committee that does the day-to-day running of the party, perhaps on behalf of the NEC. Then, as we were still reeling from the shock of the so-called national address by a deputy president, and those who think this is not serious, imagine Mike Pence of the United States of America addressing the nation, and Trump is still president. It's unacceptable. It's unheard of. While we were still recovering from this, then Tuju comes up with these changes to this organ. And again, Deputy President William Samoei Ruto writes a letter to the registrar of political parties saying that was fraudulent. The appointment could not have been made by Tuju because that is fraud. Actually, to put it in his own words, some schemers, some people fraudulently taking advantage of COVID-19, the situation in the country, fraudulently purported to want to change officials of the party. chorus was there. This was in the social media. Social media also in the letter to the Registrar of Political Parties objecting. From Susan Kika Kimani the same. Moses Kuria the same. Kimani Shungwa the same. All the people who have written objection to the registrar seem to have been reading from the same script. The language is the same. They all term this thing as a fraud. Now, William Samoei Ruto is a seasoned politician. Even his worst enemies give it to him. They say he's a fighter. Even the harshest critics like Francis Atwoli, they have admitted that Ruto can be president. He has the material and the capacity to be president. He's a fighter. But you cannot fight your way to State House. You can fight your way to being a Rift Valley kingpin. In fact, and indeed, you can fight to replace Moi and the Mois in Rift Valley. You can fight hard to be number 2, deputy to Uhuru Kenyatta, but you cannot fight your way in that manner to be president of the Republic of Kenya. So now, when William Samoei Ruto calls the person who has made these changes a fraudster, a fraud, the question that comes to mind is this: can Raphael Tuju, Secretary General of the party, wake up one day in his beautiful current home and make such a changes, surely, without consulting the leader of the party? Is it possible? It's completely impossible. Ruto should actually know, and his brigade, that there's no way Raphael Tuju would make these kind of changes without consulting. In fact, they should be coming from Uhuru Kenyatta. So when you say fraud, you are referring to the leader of the party, the president of the country, as a fraudster. Honestly, we must call you out for this. We love you. We must tell you the truth. The problem with sycophants around a leader, they never tell the leader the truth. Luckily enough, there are people like us who for nothing, no fee at all, we are not lawyers to charge. For no fee at all, we will advise you. Addressing the nation as you did is insubordination. Writing to the registrar of political party and engaging on the matter of party changes in the social media, in media, is an affront on the presidency. It's an affront on the president, the man you always refer to as your boss. So those of us who love you will tell you the truth, that you are a great leader, you can make it, but again, listen to people who tell you you lack advisors. William Samoei Ruto lacks advisors. And it begins from the moment he becomes deputy president. He sidelined the kingpins of Rift Valley. All politics is local. Our politics is tribal. You must begin with home. That's why I've always told him, Davadi, begin with Western before you go out, then go out. When Ruto became deputy president, aliwatema kina Henry Kosgei, Franklin Bett, Zakayo Cheriot, Sally Kosgei, Isaac Ruto. These are the people who would be benefiting him in terms of advice. If somebody somewhere in Kericho would want to tell the deputy something, a secret, to share with him some information, an old man, surely I can bet my last breath, he would rather share it with Franklin Bett than share it with Aaron Cheriot, my friend. So the people who surround Deputy President William Ruto, who then are his advisors, they are good guys. Look at Moses Kuria, good guy, friend of mine. Look at Kimani Shunga, my friend, wonderful guys. Susan Kika, wonderful people. Murukomen, young, vibrant people. We are happy as a country to have such a vibrant people, some of them serious lawyers. But honestly, these are not the people who will advise you when it comes to issues of the presidency. Let's assume you became president, William Samoei Ruto. Would you have Murkomen as the man next to you as an advisor? Kimani Shungwa. These are good people, but they are still in the process. They are being processed. They will become people who can advise a president with due time. But for now, the blunders of insubordination, of purporting to address the nation, of engaging the president in the social media, of conversing together with your surrounding sycophants, conversing the registrar of political party to reverse a decision that was only relayed by Raphael Tuju, a decision that must have come from President Uhuru Kenyatta. You are doing exactly what I've warned you against. You are making Kenyatta tell people in Mount Kenya, this man is a good guy. I was going to give him, but he's a man who is insubordinating me. He's a man in a hurry to inherit somebody, somebody's wife before that man dies. I am certain that William Samoei Ruto is aware Jubilee Party belongs to Uhuru Kenyatta, just as ODM belongs to Raila and the Wiper belongs to Kalonzo. ANC belongs to Musalia Mudavadi. That is the reality in this country. For some people to imagine they can call the shots in Jubilee outside Uhuru Kenyatta and even be mad enough, some people are even mad enough to imagine they can evict Uhuru Kenyatta from Jubilee. This is a joke. Come back to your senses, those who love William Ruto. Those who will want William Ruto to become president. Come back to your senses and tell him he will get nothing through insubordination. Number one. Number two, he must listen even to his harshest critics like Murathe, his harshest critics like Atwoli, who are even good enough to tell him you can be president except stop being in a hurry to be president, except stop insubordinating Uhuru Kenyatta. And finally, they tell you, get good advisors.